This is the John Brown Alliance, where we don't fear, we fight. Today is it's Father's Day. So I want to say happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. And I would like to dedicate this particular moment to my father. We're in a pivotal moment in American history. And right now, I don't want to buy into all the hype that's going on with what happened today with the protests and the military parade under Donald Trump. What I would like to do instead is to provide you with some insight as to not only how we got here, but how we get out. But I don't think that's going to happen, because we are so far drawn away from who we are as human beings, why we were put on this earth, and what we live for and stand for, that there may not be any coming back, not only for this country, but for the entire world. Today I learned that there are measures in place to take away your clean drinking water and your clean air, just because it benefits a certain part of society that is probably only going to be alive for the next 30 years. Our children and grandchildren, because people voted a certain way, are going to suffer and die. And that may actually be the end of humanity. For the benefit of making this simple, I will reflect back to my own journey in life. I was not born to a race, a way of thinking, a religion, or an ideology. I was born out of the womb of a woman. When I came out, as soon as I came out, I was judged and assigned a race. I either had a father or I did not. And immediately, when I exited, this wonderful human being who could bring life, labels were put on me. But I digress. Let me go back to the life givers. We have this thing in America right now, toxic masculinity, that is so rampant that women are subscribing to this ideology, not because it helps them, not because it helps them survive, because it just brings them the attention that they always craved. So they do masculine things. Not masculine as in gay masculine, but masculine as in white supremacy masculine. Like the woman that comes in front of the press and speaks for the president. The louder you yell, the more powerful you are. And you wag your head and you show your blonde hair and white skin, and that makes you mighty. Then there's the regular toxic masculinity, where you have white men convincing black, Muslim, Latino, and Native American men even, that by behaving like an animal, hating and targeting certain individuals, that makes you a man. Let me tell you what a man is. And this is why I'm dedicating this particular video to my father. My father, a few years ago, we submitted his DNA and did his genealogy, and we were flabbergasted to find out exactly what he was. Now, I'm not going to tell you what he was because you would never believe it. And it's really not relevant because he lived his life in a way that there was no color to his skin. This is a man that no matter who you were or where you came from, you were treated with respect. And I want to particularly say something to Muslims, Latinos, and black people that decided they either weren't going to vote or were going to vote for Trump because they felt somehow slighted by the black community or this community or that community or these people or this or that. None of these communities, black, Muslim, or Latino, can alone, by their numbers, sway an election. They didn't back in 2025. And that's why we're where we are at. Because these people thought by voting solely on their cultural issues, they were going to punish Joe Biden. And now they're finding out they punished themselves. And I want to particularly point out in all of these communities, the despisement of people who are trans or gay that I have seen. Now, I have been in many protests in my life, and especially recently, every one of those protests I've been to, there have been LGBTQ activists there. There have been gay people there supporting your causes, black causes, Mexican and Hispanic causes, Muslim causes. They've all been there. But yet every one of these cultural groups I have seen either preach that their religion, their Muslim religion, their Christian religion, or their Catholic religion encourages them to dislike gay people. That's wrong. You must remember, first off, that each and every one of you are a guest here right now because this land was stolen from Native Americans. You have no right to inflict your beliefs on someone else and then cry about your civil rights, religious rights, and human rights being taken away from you. Every day you speak to another individual, you need to practice what you preach. Not hide behind some church. Because people like me are watching and we hear what you say. And a lot of people don't like me and I really don't give a fuck. A lot of people do. But don't smile in my face knowing that 5 minutes down the road I'm going to encounter some trans woman, or somebody dressed in drag and you're going to put them down because I like them. I don't subscribe to that. At every moment in American history, your people, black people, Latino people, and Muslim people have been hated. And you are finding out the hard way. You're still not accepted. But how would you like to be those hated people? Now, in the past, people like me took up for you. And that's why you don't have to fight the hard fight right now. People like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Russell Means and Dennis Banks and Cesar Chavez fought for your rights. Gandhi fought for your rights. So you could come here, go through the process, and become an American. But now that you are, check yourself before you wreck yourself. And I'm especially talking to black Christians. Because right now I'm getting all this bullshit about gay people. what you need to do is slow your fucking roll. Mind your business and take care of your own backyard. Because right now, your concentration on the nonsense that you allow white people to manipulate you to think about is the reason you lost the last election. Yes, it is. Because you were concentrating, you're always, perpetually, throughout history, manipulated. And then you want to get pissed off about it. Now you want to be pissed off because, you're thinking that, the military is going to fight you in the streets while you protest. You brought that on yourself. You know why? Because you helped them get elected based on your isolation of people that were not like you. What part of you are not white don't you understand? It's very simple. I get so tired of telling people this stuff. What part of manifest destiny don't you understand? But I got to give a history lesson everywhere the fuck I go. Everywhere I go. And right now, the most receptive people in my community are the Latinos. They come up and tell me American history. They come up and tell me about Native American history and how the land was stolen. So what's black people's excuse? I'm getting real tired of that. I'm getting kind of a little bit sick of the Christian church, and you just honing in on that, thinking that's your excuse. That's your validation for everything. No, you don't get a free pass here either. Nobody does. You don't get to come out here and quote gospel and preach and shit like that, and everybody else is supposed to go, oh, that's right. Because you know what? I read that book. And I read the Quran and other books. And right now, that shit is not helping us. And it's not helping you. And everything I have said since 2016 is coming to pass. Now, I told you back in 2016 that you were going to see military people in the streets. I told you Donald Trump was going to get elected twice. I told you white supremacy was going to be the order of the day. I told you we were reliving, everything we did before the Civil War. I also told you once upon a time about The Birth of a Nation, a movie that was showed by Woodrow Wilson right inside the White House, demonizing black people as monkeys and apes, running around, raping white people, and just pillaging things. And now the same rhetoric is being applied to Latino people. But our biggest problem in the Muslim community and the indigenous community and the black community is gay people. Why? Because we can concentrate that hate away from us. That's not the right way to go. Now I'm going to go back to my mother's womb. I was born as an individual. I was not preached to by a church and told how to think, no matter what your denomination is. You are responsible for your impact on this earth. Not Muhammad, not Jesus Christ, not anything else. People who are living and breathing on this earth make change and impact history. Not some book. Now, I'm not anti-religion. I respect everybody's religion. But when it comes to a point where your religion is once again in America taking away my rights as a Native American, I have problems with that. Once every conversation we have to have is about gays, I have a problem with that. When your freedoms are being taken away, I think you need to be men and concentrate on that. Clean up your own backyard. That's what I mean by that. It's easy to be ignorant and blissful in it and keep saying the same thing over and over again to people that's going to agree with you. I like the hard battles. I don't like everybody to agree with what I say. I want them to question what they've been told. And the biggest problem in America right now and how we got here is we question nothing. We challenge nothing. We sit back and wait for somebody else to make our decisions for us, stand up for us, and tell us what to think. And that's where we're at. We are being told what to think by our friends and neighbors. I come from a law enforcement family and a military family and an educated family. And I'm way too educated to put my freedoms in the hand of someone who is not, or someone who's quoting something someone else said. So the next time you go to the grocery store and you get help from somebody, or you run out of gas and somebody gives you $5, or you need a blood transfusion because you're on your deathbed, come back after it's over, do a survey, and ask that person if they were gay, or if they were black, or if they didn't vote for the same person you did, or they didn't support a war overseas that you did. When you compartmentalize things that are larger than you, you don't understand your insignificance on this earth. And what we have become is a people in the United States of America that are as entitled to nothing as we can possibly be. But yet each and every single one of us thinks that we're bigger and better than the other. And that's why we lost the last election. That's why we're where we are. We only have the power together. Yes, the majority of the population is no longer white, and it is under threat. But you as a Muslim, as a Latino, a black, or gay person are not alone the defining entity that will change this nation. Once you stop behaving as if you are the be-all, end-all, then we can survive together. But when that mentality sets in and you think that you can influence everything just on your own, you're jaded and blind. Case in point, some of these boycotts, and black people decided they were going to boycott Walmart and certain things. It wasn't just black people boycotting Walmart. People joined in that you don't even see or know. It's just not a black thing. It was an American thing. So do yourselves a favor and get your ass off of your back and stop thinking you're all of that, because you're not. I spent my entire life doing things to benefit other people, and all I see around me is sheer selfishness. So until we fix ourselves, we're not going to fix America. That's number one. You can't ask somebody else to do what you're not willing to do. So put your pride aside with this other bullshit. Stop talking and start listening and start learning. Start reading for yourself. Start educating yourself. Just because you have a college degree doesn't make you educated. It just makes you think you know everything. That's all. So I'm going to move on to another subject for a moment. And I'm going to hit on the birth of a nation once again. If you replace everything that you saw in that movie, if you saw that movie, and it's a very old movie that was boycotted nonetheless, if you see that movie and replace all the negative stereotypes in that movie with white people, that's what you're seeing right now. So just like now, back then, the murders, the rapes, the enslavement, the injustice, the lunacy, the animal activity that you see right now in MAGA, in your president, in the cabinet, in the Congress on the Republican side is exactly what is portrayed in that movie. Replace those faces with white faces. That's what you're seeing every day. That's what they don't see. Because for generations, they have pitted us against each other and been successful at it. And it's successful right now. Sure, we get many people protesting on the streets. We get many people doing podcasts, but that's just part of it. You have to get it within yourself that we need each and every individual that is marginalized to stand up. Not one particular group or not those we only want to march with. We need everyone. And that includes gay people, trans people, and every other people. You don't have to agree with these people, and you don't have to join their cause. You don't have to join their church. You don't have to do any of that. But what you do have to do is respect them as American citizens and human beings with rights. And until you do that, you're going to reap what you sow, America. And this is coming from an indigenous person with a collection of other races above that. Now you can't fix stupid like these MAGA people, but you can stop yourself from becoming stupid simply by getting educated and losing your prejudices. Now I'm going to ask you, if you like this video, I'm actually remembering to say it at the end, like and subscribe. It costs nothing to subscribe. But if you want to see more of these videos, or if you want my message to get out, a more basic message about how to be a regular human being, then please like and subscribe. This is the John Brown Alliance, where we don't fear, we fight. Thank you, good night, and good luck.